One of our first clients, actually, who's still with us, when we first picked him up, he didn't have any operational systems at all. He was running 5 different email accounts. His website was fine and it was functional, but we are in the middle of actually helping him even overhaul all of that. And so when we first picked him up, he had backlog of projects that were years old that he just did not have any capacity or time to get to. And when we first launched with him, we went through a whole operational systems map with him to help him understand, how do we actually streamline this process so that you can spend more time with your clients and you're not having to manage all of these administrative tasks, invoicing and things of that nature. And just the sigh of relief on his face when we first started. And when we completed one of the first outstanding projects, which was a fairly large lift, honestly, the comment he gave us, and we're actually going to capture it on video soon and share it more, was, I didn't think I'd ever see a light at the end of this tunnel. And now I do.
Hello, Joe. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me today. I appreciate it.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Joe, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Joe, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invested in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. Let's say some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Joe, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, my man, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, hmm, a lot's changed about the mango tree, you see. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately, I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did. And it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. And not just mangoes now, Joe. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a beautiful experience that day, and I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Joe that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to say no to you. And getting to read a little bit about you, the beautiful stuff that you're doing, I found them so profoundly beautiful. So I've got to say thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. Secondly, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you so much for those kind words.
Beautiful, Joe. So let's get started. You see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Joe, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, my man, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible Joe on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, my man, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of informations flying out there. So those folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Joe, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Joe got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Joe, my man, over to you.
Sure, sure. So, yes, my name is Joe, and I am Natalie Reed's wife. Sorry, Natalie Reed's husband, rather. We've got three beautiful children, Ezra, Keziah, and Malachi. And we've been serving in ministry for a little over 20 years together. It started off as church planting in the Midwest of the United States, and we relocated to South Africa about probably 17 years ago now, and we served there for about 5 years, and then relocated to Boston, Massachusetts about 12 years ago. And so a little bit of our journey, we got into ministry really out of a burden for our friends who were not yet following Jesus, and saw just a huge gap between, church is really more uh, for forming Christians and bringing them into the faith and growing them up in the faith. And there are some churches that are really good at drawing non-Christians in, but by and large, my friends weren't going to go there, and so we were very burdened with the reality of that, and began to really pursue evangelism and disciple making and spiritual formation and church planting. The result of that actually led us into South Africa, where the Lord really began to expand our understanding of mission, that it includes not just the individual and their families' entrance into relationship with Jesus, but also their livelihood, their reality on earth now as it is in heaven. And so how do we become an answer to the Lord's Prayer in those ways? And that's really what led us to forming Exponent Group, which is the ministry that I founded 7 years ago. And our team has been continuing to expand really all of our efforts. We like to talk about this in three different lenses that we look at things through. We look to serve leaders to restore their own communities around their spiritual formation, their ministry skills development, and their ability to participate with the Lord in restoring communities and community development projects. So that's a little bit about our background and how we've gotten here. Excited to share a little bit more about some of those stories today.
Beautiful. You see, something that you said that really stood out is that part where you mentioned that the burden that you have for unbelievers led you into the ministry. Oh boy, that's a beautiful one. Because, I've heard of some folks who, in their case, it was the total opposite. They started the ministry because they want to exploit the people. They want to oppress the people. You see, folks like that getting to listen to Joe speak, they might realize how evil they are and maybe change their ways. So thank you so very much for the wonderful stuff you're doing. I love it. So I've got some questions here. All right. Are you ready for me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Joe, what inspired your passion for the non-profit world?
Yeah, I think a lot of things. When I was pastoring a church, I saw what our limitations were in bringing a lot more development to our community. There's a lot of things that go on the inner workings of a church that are really important, really powerful, but there's so much capacity. There's a capacity to do more for the community, and I have found the churches that are doing community development well typically end up having a nonprofit arm to their work. And so a lot of my passion really went back out. It was always outside the walls of the church and saying, how do we reach the lost and help form these communities into ways that would bring honor to the Lord. And so that's a lot of what drove us in the first place to launch the nonprofit work.
Amazing, and I got that. Okay, so let's talk about SolveLine. Is it SolveLine or SolveLine?
Solve
SolveLine.
line, yes.
Okay, so how has SolveLine impacted team members across West Africa?
Yes. So a little backstory on SolveLine. One of our partners is based in Nigeria, and Compassion Team International is the name of that partnership that we have here. And we've been working with them. I've been working with them directly for 15 years. About 4.5 years ago now, we identified there's just a real need to help bring job skills into the community where people were being reached. So a lot of folks coming out of militant Islam, human trafficking, all of the things that you are experiencing in the beautiful nation of Nigeria. It's a very dark time in Nigeria. But in the midst of that darkness, we're seeing the Lord shine through, and directly through this partnership we have with Ishaku Taraki, who's my lead director over there, and Compassion Team International. We begin to see, as people are coming to faith, we need to give them job skills. And about a year and a half ago, we actually ran into a situation where we've graduated a lot of individuals. They're really, really sharp, a lot of innovation, a lot of creativity, just a lot of drive. There's just a healthy drive in the community. And so helping them getting placed into jobs became a very large lift, right, for the ministry. And so we decided there were several problems that we were facing. How do we continue to fund this work? And how do we continue to help the folks that are graduating get stable employment? And so we started SolveLine 18 months ago with that drive. We want to help US based or really global based companies, because we're working with people across the globe now who need administrative assistance, any kind of business process outsourcing service. How can we be your partner in that? Not just a vendor that we're serving you, and it's just an invoiced situation. No, we are actually vested in the health of your business and wanting to help you grow. And so we've launched SolveLine, and we're working with clients around their business needs to help provide administrative support and full-on operational support. Everyone that's involved in this has a bit of an ownership stake in the health of that business, so they get shares of the business. They're also getting very well compensated for their time. It's not like those other traditional outsourcing agencies that are charging you like $40 an hour and guys are only getting paid, 15. No, these guys are getting paid a lion's share of that portion, and the rest of the profits are actually getting poured into the infrastructure, the job training program, and the expansion of everything. So that is 100% of how the model is working. And it's just been a beautiful moment. So the guys working on this, they've come to faith. They've been actually trained up as leaders in ministry. And now we're able to give them gainful employment to pour back into their families and into their neighborhoods and really change the look and the feel of that community at large. We're really excited about what God's doing through SolveLine right now.
This is amazing and so beautiful. You're helping them reconnect back to their Heavenly Father, and you're also helping them physically. That's amazing. And that's a smart way to do things. I love that. So you see, I'm curious. Do you have any client story, maybe from someone who, um, okay, like how SolveLine has made a real difference for clients, like success story? You got any?
Absolutely. So one of our first clients, actually, who's still with us, when we first picked him up, he didn't have any operational systems at all. He was running 5 different email accounts. He had no marketing plan. His website was fine and it was functional, but we are in the middle of actually helping him even overhaul all of that. And so when we first picked him up, he had backlog of projects that were years old that he just did not have any capacity or time to get to. And when we first launched with him, we went through a whole operational systems map with him to help him understand, how do we actually streamline this process so that you can spend more time with your clients and you're not having to manage all of these administrative tasks, invoicing and things of this nature. And just the sigh of relief on his face when we first started. And when we completed one of the first outstanding projects, which was a fairly large lift, honestly, the comment he gave us, and we're actually going to capture it on video soon and share it more, was, I didn't think I'd ever see a light at the end of this tunnel. And now I do. And I'm excited to just get rid of more of this stuff off of my daily activity. Let you guys take it and run. This has been perfect for me. And so that's a consistent theme we've been hearing from clients. And we're really excited about being able to partner with organizations like
Beautiful. So you're helping people spiritually, you're helping them physically and financially, and you're also impacting the world. That's an amazing one. And I love that, man. So there is something I believe is so inevitable, which is challenges, tough times. So, for how long you've been in the ministry now and the beautiful stuff you've been doing, how were you able to overcome those tough periods, those hard moments? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, there's several things. One of the things we like to talk a lot about and really help instill in our leaders is a healthy daily prayer practice where we're spending a lot of time in solitude and silence with the Lord. We're in His Word. We extend that into our community life together, and so we're not doing any of this alone. So there's a lot of times when things get hard all the time, especially in ministry, but also in life and in business, and every facet of life is complicated and difficult and challenging. And so having other people who have been on the journey with you and who also share that same prayer practice, that same rhythm of life in God, that's how we've sustained things to date. And I do think, there's just a power, not just in community, but in the sense of team, right? Like even with SolveLine, the ebbs and flows of a startup are there. There's just all kinds of questions. You don't know if it's going to work. You don't know if it's going to make it. And every single time we've hit those low points in the startup phase, um, is Shaku, who's the head of everything, will call me on WhatsApp and just say, "Oh, we're going to pray. We're just going to pray right now. It's hard. So let's go to the Lord." And he's a constant reminder of who we're doing this with and who we're doing it for. And so I'm really appreciative of just those practices that have helped ground us over time.
Because we've got to keep in touch with the one who gave us the assignment. I love the part where you
Mhm.
mentioned daily praying habit. I love that. So what is next for your ministry and Soft Life?
Yeah. So from a ministry perspective, so it's fun. So we're expanding into new regions, working with leaders on how to launch regional disciple making movements. And we have a lot of things that we mean about that, what that looks like for us, definitions that are really important to us, that are a little distinctive to other groups out in the space. And the other piece that we're really excited about is the innovation around building tools to actually help move the gospel and community development work, which is part of the gospel in our definition, forward in each of these communities. So the real backstory with SolveLine too was that my interest in helping establish it was that our ministry needed an operations team. And I wasn't interested in just hiring a vendor. I wanted people who aligned with our work, who understood the values of what we were pushing forward, and who had the skills and the interest, frankly, in doing that kind of work. It's hard to find people that have all of those things in one place. And so by partnering with the guys in Nigeria, we're not just getting operational team, we're getting ministry partners as a result of it. I'm excited about the whole thing.
And that's so beautiful. And that's where some business owners miss it. They just hire people based on cheap labor, or, they don't work with folks who are in alignment with their vision and mission. In other words, they employ people whose purpose is totally different from what they're doing. So you don't do that.
Yes.
You do the total opposite. And that's a smart woman, man. I love that. So we have two more
Thank
questions to
you.
go. Yeah, man.
Sure.
So what has delegation taught you about productivity and leadership?
Well, I love that question. I'll be honest with you, man. It takes me a really long time to do what our team at SolveLine finds just completely easy. Things like creating an email newsletter would take me 4 hours to create it. But when I just tell them essentially what I want it to say, they have it done within 30 to 45 minutes. And it's just, that's the kind of activity I don't need to be doing. And I need to be able to cast vision and stay ahead of where our ministry is moving. And having a teammate that's there's no emotional investment outside of just writing it really, really well and pure. And they just know how to do it. It's simple tasks like that that just take me a long time. There's no reason for me to be spending time on it. And so my favorite adage in this is our role as leaders is to learn how to delegate so that we can elevate. And when we're in the weeds on activities that just anyone else can do, and frankly do them better and more efficient than us, then we're not leading. We're not leading well. We're not leading forward. And I think that's been the biggest part for me in terms of delegation.
This is beautiful. And while you were speaking, I remembered what the apostles did. You know that time when they were having issues between the Greeks and the Jews and about sharing of food, and the apostles said, it ain't our duty to share food. We are sent to go teach and preach, and they appointed some folks to be in charge of that. That's to tell you how important delegation is, and I got that. So finally, my man, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about the wonderful stuff you're doing, about your ministry, or even be a partner of your wonderful programs, how can that be possible?
Yeah, I would leave you with a few thoughts. I think your work is really important to the King of Heaven, and he loves you, and he wants only the best for you. And there are a lot of ways that you can have a partner in your corner to help you overcome some of the hurdles and the challenges that are inevitable in life, especially in ministry and especially in business. And so if anyone would like to get in touch with us in terms of SolveLine, they can find us at solveline.pro. That's the website, and they can schedule time to chat with us that way. And if anyone's interested in our ministry work, that's exponentgroup.org. And I'm really excited about the expansion that's happening on that side as well. Would love to chat with you on either side of those. Feel free to reach out at any point.
Beautiful, and I love that. That's a great one. So that's going to be the end of the show, my man. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this wonderful stuff with us. It means a whole lot, Joe. Thank you.
I appreciate it. It was good to be with you, sir.